we're getting ready. Alrighty, hey everybody. Welcome to Super Pack Junior. Twitch channel, I am Super Pack. And today's episode is Arcade versus Console, as we do every Saturday. Noon Eastern here on Twitch. And we've done some pretty good games over the last few weeks. Last week was Ms. Pac-Man, one of the all-time favorite sequels, or unofficial sequel as it is, for video games. Today, Albert has one of my favorite games here for co-op playing. Now, earlier we played Mario Brothers, which is a great co-op playing game. This one came from Williams Electronics, and it is called Joust. And this was developed by John Newcomer back in 1982 is when it was released. And like I said, you could play it with somebody, certainly as co-op playing. You know, we help each other out as far as getting rid of the evil knights. Or you can actually kind of screw each other over, as my best friend and I often did. We would literally clobber each other over this particular game. By the way, before I get started, I wanted to give a shout out to a new follower. It was the BBC Caban. Thank you for following me. I greatly would appreciate that. I greatly appreciate it, rather. Thank you very, very much. Going back to game, Joust. Now, Joust was kind of neat because, hey, oh, look at that handsome arcade cabinet. Two players play side by side instead of alternating turns, which was fairly new. This came out before Mario Brothers, so we didn't see that on their end yet. But, oh, look at the pixels too. You are flying on a gigantic flying ostrich. Yes. John Newcomer didn't want to do any more spacey type games, so he kind of racked his brains a bit and said, hey, you know what? We're going to do something a little bit off the chart here. And that's exactly what he did. And he tried seeing what animals would be best postured for this type of thing. And he looked, he was going to choose an eagle, but eagles don't run around like that. But ostriches do. Okay, so they don't fly. Big deal. Of course, there's the pterodactyl, the unbeatable pterodactyl. But there it is. That's how you generally play. You have two whole controls at your disposal. You can move with your joystick side to side, in other words, left to right, but not up and down. That's determined by your flap button. And the more often you hit the flap button, the faster you begin to rise. Now, the second player, apparently, I always thought it was a goose, as this is an ostrich. Apparently, no. This is a stork. So, all these years, I've thought it was an ostrich playing, because when you see it on the screen, yeah, of course, it doesn't look like a stork to me, but whatever. But that's what I learned today. I've only been playing this game since it debuted 40 years ago? 41 years ago now. And it's still being kept up today thanks to Arcade 1-Up. You can actually buy your very own Joust cabinet from the folks at Midway, who own Williams, and with its LCD screen and very similar mock-up to the original arcade cabinet. And not too long ago, Hallmark actually released a keepsake ornament. Looks pretty darn good, I dare say. Quite close. Very impressed with that one. So with that having in mind, let's take a look. Oh, by the way, back in 1994, they were nice enough to release Williams Arcade's classics, and it was the first 6 commercially emulated arcade games: Defender 2, which was Stargate, Joust, Robotron 2084, Sinistar, and Bubbles. And you can still find the variants of that particular package today, as they have been releasing it for various consoles and whatnot. Even the Sega Genesis and Super Nintendo have Williams Arcade's greatest hits. So having said that, we're going to take a look at the home consoles for today. And the home consoles for today are just simply Joust for the Atari 2600. This probably was the most common version you would find, as most of us had a 2600 back in the 1980s. And so, therefore, if you want to play your favorite arcade game, you play it on this. But did it actually stack up too well to the arcade classic is something we're going to find out. Then, that's the redone of the docks. Okay. Then the 5200 version. Now, I'm going to have to switch emulators for this, because when I try to run it on my normal emulator, it comes up with a very dark screen. You can hear everything, but you can't see anything. And I think that's a perfect way to play it. Or I can actually try to find an emulator that actually did show it. And then the Atari 7800 version. Now, again, not too many of us had a 7800 version, but there's a reason why I put this in there, and I think you'll find out when we get to that one. Nintendo Entertainment System also had Joust. It was distributed by HAI, or HAL America Incorporated, a second party to Nintendo. And, well, yeah, sure. And if you wanted to just carry it around as you go in your travels, you can also buy it for your Game Boy. In this case, it came with a two-pack, one being Defender and the other one, of course, being Joust. And we'll take a look at that as well. And then at the conclusion of this particular segment, we're going to do something brand new to this particular episode. We will have Can My Wife Play It? We'll see if London Lass can play any one of the games. Hello, there she is in the background. She can play any one of these jousts, or she can play last week's game as we originally were going to have it planned, but I was quite under the weather last week. Flus are wonderful. They really are, provided you don't suffer from them. Oh, yeah. So she can have a choice of either playing any of the Ms. Pac-Man that we covered last week as well. And again, you can find any of those. You can find that particular video still on Twitch for today, and tomorrow will be on my YouTube channel as the backup. So, let's get started, shall we? I'm going to go ahead and hit pause as we switch through the emulators, and we'll be right back. And there it is, up there on the Pac-Man cabinet. Joust. Take a look at it. Alright, it has a big vanity table. Apparently, a vanity table was kept alive in the cabinet. You know, you can keep your arcade cabinet plugged in or on 24/7. But they were bright enough to actually put 3 AA batteries attached to the motherboard so you can keep the vanity table memory alive. That was pretty cool and unusual back then, because a lot of times you unplug the machine, boom. Everything's lost, and all the records that were there are gone forever. But not with Williams. They actually thought of these things. One of the reasons why I love them so much. They're one of my favorite game developers. John Newcomer actually gave up. Apparently, he was a toy toy manufacturer. He made toys, and he gave that all up just to join Williams and build video games. Must be nice. All right, so let's take a look at what we have here. This is showing the attract mode of this particular game. What I love about the Williams games, they actually kind of tell you how to play the games to a degree. Meet the enemies. You have the Bounder, that's the Red Knight. The Hunter, that's the Silver Knight. And, of course, the Shadow Lord, which is the Blue Knight. And they are much harder as they get further into their colors. And the only way they come about is if you leave an egg alone and it hatches. We'll see how you get an egg in the first place. There's the pterodactyl we showed earlier. And if you're not completed by that board, by I believe 20 or 30 seconds, one of those will appear, and then every 10 seconds after that, another one will appear. And another, and another, and another. Okay, I already have 1 credit. I'm going to give 2 anyway. And here we go. I will say, the controls are quite iffy on this one. Come on down. Whichever has the higher position when the 2 players collide will be the victor of the joust. So if you do not win, you at least get 50 points for your effort. Now this is a survival wave. Should I survive this wave, not get killed, I'll get an extra 3,000 points. Should you also catch an egg in the air, you get an extra 500 points. Because they love you so much in this game. Alright. And there's my bonus that their fires now have taken away the safety sides, the main platform. They're much faster all of a sudden. There it goes. Now they're slower again. That was close. They have to land to get their knight. You gotta be kidding. Have to be real careful. That's why. Right on cue. You piece of... Saw that coming. Really merciful. Okay. Because I always race the tables. That's my later attempt. Alrighty. Gotta be kidding. Now, after the third wave, there will be a fourth wave where a lava troll exists. He's an undefeatable character that if you fly too close to the lava, he's going to try his damnedest to pull you down. I love this belly flop. Thank you, London Lass. Bye-bye, buzzards. Down there for right now. That was dumb. Dumb. Seriously? Any eggs that fall into the lava, by the way, are destroyed. Oh, shut up. Ah. I'd like to at least survive. Okay, now there's fires there showing that there's a lava troll ready to go. You see his hand, it's right there. Oh, Lord. Okay. Expert gamer here. Let's see, my wife's taking... Can Super Pack play the game, basically, is what is coming now? Oh, yeah? That is a parry. We were both at equal height. Same thing happened again. Okay. Nothing I can do about that. Come on. Yeah. 1,000 points for me. Yep, and rub that salt in. Alright. Are you kidding? I hear guffaws there behind me. Great job. All right. Fun of here by my wife. Rightly so. Can't really argue any of that. I haven't even gotten any extra lives on this one. Oh yeah, well, I mean, I could come up with a big excuses. Oh well, I'm playing with a controller instead of the thing. I haven't mapped out the digital pad. I just have the analog stick mapped out. You know what? I will persevere. One more. And then after I quickly go through these lives, we'll move on to the home consoles. Like that. Hey, I got 50 points for it at least. Woohoo! Survival wave. Survival wave. Sure. And right here. There's one pixel missing between these two ledges. You can actually, if you do a belly flop onto that ledge, you can actually squeeze through. They discovered that largely by accident. They kept it in there because they liked what it did. In other words, an actual flaw. Of course. So I go and demonstrate it. Okay, I'm going to have a silver guy soon. Oh, deny it, huh? Come on. There you go. Now, if I die, they will not slow down. Like that. Should the lava troll actually do the job, I will not be able to get points. Got my life, yay! Oh, go away. Big wave. They take no time. Are you kidding? You were already on the buzzer, of course. That was close. Bye! And goodbye, little shelf. Hello, nonetheless. Nice to see you in chat. Seems like you're so close. Okay, there goes the next one. Should I survive this one? I get another 3,000 points. Fat chance that will happen. Just all that empty space up there. Come on, I'm rooting for the lava troll. Ah, okay. Oh wow, I get into the top table this time. I like that. I just love the sound effects too. There it is. I was waiting for that one. Thank you, London Lass. Maximum 5 entries. Oh! Yeah, because I've been there so many times. Alright. That is Joust for the arcades. As you can see, it's a rather intense game. A lot of button mashing, I'll tell you that. There's only a few other games I can think of that actually you hear more slapping of buttons. That would be like, I don't know, track and field, maybe? Can't think of too many others. But it was a huge hit in 1982, and they didn't think John Newcomer was like, it might do well. Sold over 26,000 cabinets, and there is something of a rarity on this one. There's no cabaret model, but there is a cocktail table model, and considering that usually on cocktail models they only make like 500 to 1,000 as opposed to the full coin-op. So if you happen to see one, it is quite rare. They may not even let you play it. I wouldn't. No. Well, like I said, think of it this way. You have something of a 500 count or less, and it's a game that, by the way, one of the reasons why it's so rare is because you sit side by side. Normally on cocktail tables, you sit at the ends, and the screen flips over because you're not playing together. But this game is a co-op game, so it's a little different. That's the arcade game. Let's see how the console ports stack up. But first, we're going to hit pause, and we'll check it out in just a second. Stand by. Alright, there it is. Console number 1, the most common console that you could find this game on was, of course, the Atari VCS, the Atari 2600. See, it does have a bit of a title screen. And as you can immediately see, the graphics are quite simple in comparison to what we just witnessed in the arcade realm. But sometimes, as we've discovered, the graphics are not the most important thing. The gameplay is, especially in games back in this day. So let's see how it goes. Of course, it gives you, what, brief 2 seconds of gameplay in between each Joust title card. So basically, you're now being determined by the color, because they all have the same sprite. So you are the gold one. I believe the second player would be the blue one, and of course, or rather the blue-green one. And the red, silver, and dark blue would be the evil knights. Let's give it a whirl. And I may have turned it down just a little too much. Yeah, so let's do this real quickly. I had no idea it was that low already. Okay. Well, I see some, all right. I don't see me. Am I there? Oh, there we go. And look at that. I won by doing absolutely nothing. I've never seen that before. And you can clearly hear me. There's the pterodactyl. This ought to be neat. Oh, parried me right back into existence. And bye-bye, pterodactyl. Go away. Pterodactyl, by the way, you can defeat. They are worth 1,000 points. Now here, the hardware limitations kind of kick in. A, of course, the graphics. Nowhere near as detailed as what we just saw. B, the eggs never land. They just simply float. They will actually hatch like that. I don't believe there's a lava troll in this as well. And you always reappear there where I'm currently standing. As far as the controls, pretty much the same as the arcade game. You only use your joystick to go left to right, as flap is your up and down. Gotta be careful, here it comes. Nope, got it. Egg wave. Also, where the eggs appear, or rather the different types of rounds, are not accurate to the game. I'm gonna start hatching in a second. Yeah. As far as anything else, the game is actually pretty good. There you go. So basically it's a stripped down version of the arcade game. Very stripped down. The controls are there, the gameplay is there, even the parry's there. Sound effects are actually quite good for this, considering what you heard in the arcade game. Now, for whatever reason, I'm not exactly sure why, but Atari does have a co-developer credit into the arcade game, even though it was done entirely at Williams's built laboratories, whatever you want to call it, developing place thing. But whatever reason, Atari does indeed have a credit on this. Not sure why, but it certainly would explain why all the console versions would have their little name on it. Get over here. chasing eggs. I'll be chasing more eggs. 3, 4, 5, 6 eggs. Half dozen. Okay, 2 of them managed to hatch. That's fine. Means fortunately, oh, pterodactyl wave. So the pterodactyl wave means that there will be a pterodactyl present all throughout this frickin' wave. Now, fortunately, again, thanks to hardware limits, the pterodactyl is not as versatile or movement-wise as as it was in the arcade game. Survival round. That's what the S stands for down there. Should I manage to not get killed, I will get 3,000 extra points. And there goes my 3,000 extra points. Okay. I dare say, all in all, this game does indeed capture the spirit of the game. Of course, like I said, graphically, but this is what you had. Another egg wave. I believe all the platforms are back. Yep. 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay. And the eggs are still the same points: 255, 750, and 1,000. 1,000 there on in, as long as you continue living. There's no 500 bonus points because they never land. And the 500 bonus points if you catch them while they're in the air without touching the ground first. I don't believe you get your lousy 50 points for dying. Yep. Potentially there's a safe place. Here. And if you wait long enough, a second one will start appearing. That was dumb. And another lovely pterodactyl wave. Lucky me. I'll say this one, if you get a Shadow Lord on this particular game, they are nasty as anything. Gross. But if you know your game mechanics like that, survival wave. That's a waste of time for me. Because of course I'll die. Like that. 38,550 points. Not too terrible. Not too shabby. So for this particular game, does it stand up to the game? As far as gameplay, yeah, it does. I mean, obviously there are some differences as far as like the eggs and catching them and all that kind of stuff. And the placement of the waves and such like that. And of course, ledges disappear more often than they do. More often than they, thank you, London Lass. Than the arcade game. Graphically, of course not. But is it worth buying? Absolutely. 2-player, it makes it that much more fun, too. And my best friend and I, and my brother and I, did often do 2-player games with this particular version. Now, there are other Ataris out there, though. Keep that in mind. Back in this day and age, there was the Atari 5200, which had a better hardware complement. But was the game any better? Sometimes you actually will see the game is not that much better on the 5200. I can think of one off the top of my head. Kangaroo was actually worse to me on the 5200 than it was on the Atari 2600. But that's me. So let's go ahead and switch out the unit. And I just hit the wrong button because I'm an idiot. Now normally I will just go into here, get the 5200 ready, and I'll pop in Joust, and I will do make sure that everything's okay on it. I change the capture. There it is. All right. And there it is. Yay, there's Joust. What? You don't see it? Well, let me reset the machine then for us. No. So there is no Joust. Alrighty, so, by the way, you can play it. As I demonstrate. Neat, huh? I actually managed to successfully joust, not seeing a damn thing. You hear there's lots of parrying. I managed to capture an egg, it sounds like. This is pretty cool if if you really want to have that extra challenge. Alright, so, having said that, as neat as that is, it does seem to have a bit of a detrimental effect. Can't see anything. So, we will switch emulators. Now, this is an old emulator. It's okay. I'm not going to even bother going to the pause screen. I'm just going to go right to it. There it is. I'm going to load all one game of here just for this damn demonstration. And there it is, Joust. Very similar to that to the arcade screen as far as its attract mode. It's actually going to go into a demonstration here in just a moment. Now, as you can see, there are two players that are not red. That would be the player 1, player 2. The green player is supposedly the stork, while the gold player is the ostrich. And as you can see, if you happen to get killed, your ostrich goes and runs off without you, off to the side of the screen, etc. Same thing with the buzzards, as you can see. Although they all have, again, the same exact sprite, so the only way you can really tell who's who is just simply by its color. That's okay. As you can see, however, the graphics as far as the board layout is concerned, it's much more improved than that of the 2600. So let's go ahead and give this a run. And here we go. Now that is the emulator doing that. It doesn't really sound that horrible, but yeah. Now the belly flop is possible on this one. Ooh. Nice. Too much. I'm gonna go run right into the back of him. Seriously? There you go. And that one pixel gap is present in this game as well. I've noticed that the most of the home versions actually made it a point to make that possible in this game, because they're the arcade game. Bye-bye. And the safety net has been pretty much yanked. Now we got lava. And all the eggs go right down the drain. Oh, there you go. Wave after this one, by the way, wouldn't be a wave. There's the belly flop. All the belly flop is that you approach a ledge, but where your ostrich's legs don't appear. Like that. You can kind of belly flop on them. A lot of parrying. Oh, lava troll's already there. Ah. That's right, that's why it's wave 4. Gotta get that egg. And I gotta watch out for my time. That was close. Egg wave. See, more than 6 eggs appear here. My extra life. Extra life, not extra wife. Thought I got that one. What I do find annoying with this one is the excessive pairing there of the knights down there towards the bottom. Oh, we got him. Survival wave. In other words, don't die, you get points. If you die, in this case, the game's over. And much like the Mario Brothers for the 5200, you'll just simply sit there and let you stare at that game is over until forever. Or seeming like, anyway. Now here there's a bit of a feedback there, I guess, in the game. Give it one more. Let's see, difficulty skilled. Now, what button changes that? I wonder. None of them. Unfortunately, I'm not that familiar with this particular emulator. Good job. Right into him. But I got my 50 points. Yay! There you go. You haven't seen a pterodactyl here. And the way this game is going, we won't see one. I want to see a pterodactyl. Well, stop dying then. Okay. Just gotta stay alive for about 20 seconds. All that hapless red buzzer. I'm just watching that poor red buzzard. There's just, yeah. It's okay, buddy. Trust me, I know what it's like to suck at this game. Trust me. Let's see, where the hell did you go? I know you're there. Come on, pterodactyl, show up. Oh, you know what? I'm an idiot. This is wave 1, isn't it? This is wave 1. There's no pterodactyl in wave 1. Oh, there he is. Hey. There you go. I stand corrected. My own ostrich can't even fly off the board. Let's see. What does this thing do? 2? Oh, there's... Huh. Okay, this time for real. Here we go. Okay, so as far as how does it stack up to the arcade game, it does so, I dare say, quite easily. The control is pretty good. Now, the detrimental to the control was the Atari 5200 controller itself. It sucked. But, provided that you didn't break yours yet, by just simply, playing it, you were in for a good time, especially if you had two of these. Because this was an excellent two-player game. My best friend and I did indeed play quite a bit. Sound effects and everything like that, you have to forgive the emulator. I will tell you right now that the sounds were quite good for the 5200. It did capture the spirit of the game quite easily. And even the little technical things like the belly flops and the 1 pixel gap, they purposely kept into the game because we, as players, were taking advantage of it. The fun factor is pretty much up there. It's a great one-player game. It's an even better two-player game. And so if you like to, you and your playing partner want to try to get as far as you can, great, that's a good game to do so. You want to screw each other over because you're both assholes, and that's a good place to do it here, too. I'll say this though, true to the arcade original 2, you die mercilessly. Get away from me. I'm staying here out of... I'm making a lot of racket, but I'm staying here out of the way. Come on. Okay, well that was quick. Joust for the 5200. Let's get rid of you. Wow. Just wow. So, after what you saw there, London Lass, what do you think? You ready for some jousting? It's up to you. Remember, Ms. Pac-Man is available as well. So if you want to play that, you can play that too. It's up to you. You're the one going to play the game. I'll leave it up to you. I can easily put up Ms. Pac-Man just like I can put up any of the jousts. Well, it's not time yet. I still got 3 to go, so. You were in the middle of something. I'm terrible. I didn't mean to disturb you there, so go ahead and I'll just sit here alone. It's fine. I understand. That's fine. Hello, chat. Well, we were going to do Ms. Pac-Man. We were going to do it last week with Ms. Pac-Man, but I felt so crappy that we ended the stream a little early. So tell you what, let me go ahead and switch emulators. Yeah, I know. It's not like I was actually going outside or anything. I was sitting here in the comfort of my chair, all wrapped up, playing Ms. Pac-Man. Sick, streaming on Twitch. Who could ask for anything more? I'm going to hit pause. Switch up the emulator. We'll be right back. Do you want me to use the boom mic when you do the thing? So you can hear both of us rather than just whatever's in the headset? Okay. It's going to pick up everything, literally, so. Alrighty, so let's go back to Joust. Welcome back. Second half of the episode is coming up, as we're now 54 minutes into the stream or so. Okay, so far we've seen the arcade game, and we've seen the most popular or most common home version, and then its counterpart of that time. Now, this is pre-crash days. The 2600 and 5200 both existed prior to the video game crash of 1983, which at this point is coming up real fast. So, post-crash, Joust continues to thrive on, and as you can see, it has a very similar what we saw in the arcade. This is the Atari 7800 version. As you can see, the sprites are considerably more elaborate. You can actually tell that there are buzzards versus ostriches, and the on-screen scoring, and there's the pterodactyl. And I think this is a pretty good attract mode for this particular game, and even a very similar title card for the home unit there. I'll say this is my favorite version. So, will it stack up against? I'm going to give you a resounding yes, and I'm going to show you why in just a second. As we go ahead and kill my thought music, and let's go ahead and give it a whirl, shall we? Okay. It even gives you prepare to joust. There you go. on, Ostrich. Just go on. Seriously. What's my time? 20 seconds. Oh, come on. Yeah, that's what I thought. Yep. Saw that coming. No points. There we go. Oh! Sneaky. Now, what they're supposed to do when I die in a survival round like that, at least in the first one, they're supposed to slow down, but they didn't. So. Are you kidding? See if I can actually do it without dying this time. That was close. There we go. Seriously. Watch the time. Damn. So there were several kind of strategies you can actually play in this game. Some work better than others. Largely, you just want to stay towards the top of the screen as much as possible, because it's very difficult to lose in a jousting if you're straight at the top. But it happens. And of course, you want to be in a position where you can capture those eggs as they're still flying in the air. You can hear there is the lava troll. The other one of the useful strategies, and this is hard to do because you're literally trapped in a very rather narrow column, is to literally hang around the lava troll. But like I said, not that easy. One more. It's going to be a bit of a short stream the way I'm playing this game. This is awesome. Oh, there you go. Nice. Oh, denied. Damn. Yeah. You have to pretty much do a belly flop into him. And that's how you can kill him. There's your 1,000 bonus points. I believe he was supposed to have been truly unbeatable. So it can be done. But and we'll just let that one go. And oh, you're gonna go land there, huh? Okay. Oh, go away. I'll deal with you later. The thing about that, though, is that you have to if you want to stay at the top, you have to kind of catch those eggs before they get too far in. We already lost one to the lava. That's good. No, you don't get any points, but it doesn't turn into another. Okay, you guys gonna make it up here somehow? There you go. Believe this is an egg wave? Yep. Got my extra life, finally. Here they don't turn into buzzards. You have to wait for the buzzard to go and get the knight so the knight can go and climb on top. But didn't happen. Oh well. Too bad, so sad. Bye-bye. Now I got all this space up here at top. Oh, stay away. That was close. That was even closer. We'll go right into the maw of a pterodactyl. Nope. Got it. Should have not jumped. Or flapped. Bye-bye. Okay. I love how they keep crashing into each other, too. That kind of... Yeah. Terry Wave. Of course, that'd be the pterodactyl. Lucky us! And this pterodactyl does not disappear after killing it. Now that second one will disappear. Bye. Okay, well, that's pretty good. Pretty good. Almost 50,000. Not too bad. Not too terrible. So how does this game stack up to that of the arcade? It's almost identical, as a matter of fact. Gameplay is spot on. The scoring is absolutely right. The graphics are incredible. The sounds are not as good as the arcade. Of course, the 7800 was just simply an overhyped 2600. Had the same exact sound chips, for that matter. But man, it actually had all the gameplay. It did everything exactly right. And that's impressive, especially this late in the game. This was indeed put out after the Nintendo Entertainment System came out. Because remember, the Atari 7800 was essentially a response to Nintendo's success. Having said that, at the time, if you wanted to play Joust, you had to have an Atari. Until later on, a few years, where HAL America decided to port over Joust themselves to the NES. And we'll see how that one turns out in just a second. So stand by. As I scroll down, go all the way down to the ends for Nintendo. Now, one thing about the Nintendo Entertainment System, it kind of was a home arcade system as opposed to having to go to the arcades. It had rather good hardware for its time. Essentially, you did buy an arcade cabinet of sorts, but some games ported better than others. So let's take a look at this one. Bring this over here. I know it's going to be loud. Just like anything on the Nintendo was, for that matter. And let me switch it up. Goes. Boom. Ah! Loud. Loud. Now, one will tell you, if you're familiar with the game Joust, that doesn't sound a thing like Joust. And here's this title screen, or rather it's attract mode. Welcome to Joust. To fly, repeatedly press the A button, which is the flat button. And the graphics are pretty good, as you can see. You are indeed flying an ostrich. They're indeed flying buzzard. And it tells you how to play the game. On-screen scoring. Yep. Meet the enemies. Shows you the bounder, the hunter, and of course the Shadow Lord. And their points as they take off after. And rather interesting uniform. Looks neat. So as far as the attract mode is concerned, it has a very similar attract mode to that of the arcade game, except for the absolutely ultra uber cheerful music. As you remember, all that cheerful music that you heard from the arcade game. Alright, so let's see how this works. Okay, could not make its mind. Well, the ostrich certainly does run fast. That was fast. Hey, I finally won one. Okay. Bit sensitive on the controls. Okay. Yay. The lava rises. Well, that's good. Some key things I got, some key things. Thank you. Interesting sound effects, I will have to admit. Okay, the fire comes and burns off the safety bars. And wow. Oh, and you get greeted by happy, 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 happy music. Oh, wow. I'm surprised he even did that. Doesn't seem to appreciate the belly flop. I mean, you can do them. But you can't purposely do them as well as you could on the other versions. And normally the game doesn't let you do easy pickings like that. Also, did not declare a survival wave, I just noticed. Bye! I knew it was going to happen. Seriously. And there you go. Wow. Happy! So what do you think, kid? I don't know. I'm barely being able to play this myself. You can't be hurt because you can't. Okay. Well, we'll see about that when it comes time for you to play. So, seeing how hard this game was just on Game A, I will try Game B. Let's start off with all hunters. Yep. They do seem to be a bit slow. I will grab that. Doesn't matter. Huh? This is Nintendo Entertainment System. Yeah. Now, traditionally, Game A versus Game B. Oh, wow, right off the bat. Well, at least I got the egg from that one. I have none. I have absolutely none. I've played this game since it came out, and oh, you can? This is one of those games that if you can do it, it'll let you do it. I was hoping to actually kill one of the pterodactyls in one of these games. It's a good idea. Like, for example, a lot of players like to hang around here at the top. The thing is, though, remember, you're hitting a flat button. That's it. You're hitting a flat button, so unlike with regular joysticks, you don't have precision control. It depends on how tired you get. Yeah, and it is. It's very easy to get tired doing that. And that's one thing about Williams games. They are known for rather difficult controls. I think the easiest control scheme they ever had was Robotron 284 because it's just a pair of joysticks. Of course, one joystick was to move the character while the other one was to fire in any particular direction of 8 directions. The only reason why that game setup that was because its designer, Eugene Jarvis, actually had a broken arm. And he couldn't get his arm to particularly where he can start mashing buttons. So a double joystick it is. That's alright. Here, John Newcomer, he just wanted to torture the player. say the one thing that kind of does detract. Oh, there's a under there. Of course. One thing that does detract from this is, I hate to say this, Nintendo sound chips. You get those goofy bounce sounds. I survived, sort of. Really? It's not supposed to let them appear while you're standing on the thing. But anyway. So how does it compare to the arcade game? It's good. But it does indeed kind of have a detraction from the sound. The controls are a bit sluggish. You will literally wear your thumb out trying to flap like crazy. Yeah, that's kind of the idea. You do that in the game anyway, but you kind of double your efforts in this one. Some of the game mechanics are off. For example, when you're literally right there on the plate where they are, well, they're not supposed to show up there. It's kind of, the pterodactyl is a bit more painful in this one as well. So, you're at home, you're playing your favorite game, and now you have to go somewhere. You have to go on to a trip, you have to go to school, you're on a school bus, whatever. But you want to play your Joust, damn it. Well, there's a way to do that. Two portable consoles, I should say, did indeed have it. The Atari Lynx, which I think like 3 people had, including us, yeah, we're 2 of them. And one other, I think my best friend had one. Really? Well, good for him. Game Boy was good in a lot of ways. I love Game Boy. It actually lasted quite long, considering it came out, what, 1989? And they actually discontinued it, I think, like in the very early part of this century. So yeah, it held its own. Alright, so let's go ahead and capture that real quickly. Find it. There it is. And there it is in all of its wrong proportions. Okay, there's a bit of a problem with the ROM here. That's fine. I don't care. So you had your choice in this particular game. You could either play Defender, which we'll take a look at anyway. But nope, I'm here for Joust, damn it. I want to play my Joust as I travel. What gets me, in this day and age, could you imagine people playing their Game Boy as they drive their car? But you see people play with their phones as they drive their car. So, I guess different mentality, different crowd, whatever. There's your ostrich. It turns into gibberish. Final entry. In this particular game, we're going to play Joust for the Game Boy. It's a silent version. Yep. The reason why I chose this one over the Lynx. The Lynx, by the way, is far superior to this. The problem with the Lynx was, of course, that not too many people had it. So, although I probably could have shown you that. They also made Robotron 2084 for the Lynx. It's kind of a classic series, if you will. Unfortunately, the Lynx was indeed superior to the Game Boy in just about every way. It drained your batteries pretty quickly, though. Okay, wow. Looks like there's a little bit of a limitation there. We're only 3 of them here at a time. Now there are more. And finally got an egg. 2, 3. And then that's it, and it stops. 4. So, here's my thing. All those eggs. Let's say those eggs don't disappear. Egg wave, okay. Come on. Okay, you're really starting to annoy me. You know what? Just go ahead and let them form. Screw it. Moo Cow must have been a very hard direct port since the text says press flap to play. Yeah, instead of press B or play. Yeah, kind of. I wouldn't calling this a port. Yeah, as opposed to any other translation. It's I'm actually. This is totally by accident. I'm actually looking at my little ostrich just dancing there. And watching the pterodactyl bounce side to side. Oh my goodness. It's funny, I don't remember this in Joust. There you go. Yay, put me out of my misery. Yes, it does say press flap to play. I think they just kind of made that kind of more in tune to the arcade game as opposed to this is obviously, you know, whatever. It's the Game Boy. What can I tell you? I don't understand why I had to give you that kind of screen to interrupt, though. But hey, thanks for joining in. I appreciate it, Momo Cow. Is that Momo Cow? I remember this cartridge got a very low score in the Low Game magazine. They told you to buy a book about ostriches instead. Yeah. It's funny. John Newcomer, the designer of the original game, he wanted to be not spacey, you know, all the other spaceship games and such like that. And Williams having created Defender, which was one of the bigger spaceship games of its time, 1980. So he went into this, and he wanted animals, so he wanted birds. And birds, he almost chose the eagle. Well, the eagles don't run, ostriches do, but ostriches don't fly. It's fantasy, whatever, there it is. And then I always thought that the second player was a goose. No, it's a stork. Again, you're a knight riding a stork. Fantasy. So whatever. But as far as this portion of the game, we take a console version, and I will call it Game Boy console because it does have interchangeable cartridges. God, controls are so clunky. Does it compare against to the arcade game? It's kind of unfair, you would think, as far as a Game Boy game. But you got to remember, the Atari 2600 had it too. Wow, that lava troll just, man. Goodness. I may not have to do much here. Lava Troll's doing it all for me. How many more of them are going to show up? Oh, Survivor Wave. Oh, that's going to be neat. So much for the Survival Wave. Yeah, I should have chose the Lynx version. Okay, bye eggs. A lot of omelets down there, I think. No bonus, no kidding. Dactyl. Ah. I don't know. I just don't know. Ah. Oh, that's cool. I like that. That's the lava troll. Interesting. Okay. Since it is here, I can enter my name like it matters. Okay. I have to actually enter more letters. Matters a lot until you turn off the Game Boy neck. Of course. Well, I may mention at the top of the show that even in the arcade game, they actually had enough sense or the forethought to actually put a battery case attached to the arcade board, 3 AA batteries in there to keep the vanity tables alive. So, of course, when you unplug the machine, your name, your initials rather, are still there. Okay, you're now all of a sudden not working. Okay, there you go. Okay, huh? It wasn't. Well, vanity tables didn't come until I think Asteroids was the first vanity table back in '81. I may be wrong, but yeah, they never actually had any type of memory. And even after Williams did their thing with the vanity tables, they still didn't put batteries in with the arcade boards. Not sure why people didn't think was important. I don't know. What's important here is I cannot get out of this. I'm hitting everything there is. Okay, yep. Nope. Excellent. That's fantastic. Yeah, I'm hitting start. Start, select, A, B. Directional pad. This is a perfect port. I'm going to give this... Can't think of a worse score than 0. How can that... I don't know. Whatever. I was going to actually go into the Defender side and see what that looked like. I mean, it can't be any worse than this. So you know what? Let's do a soft reset. Screw it. Oh my goodness. Now I'll say this about Defender. I did a thing about Defender as I was testing on Twitch, like in my first few days or whatever. It is one of the hardest games I've ever played. That and Stargate, its sequel, because of its control panel overlay. And despite the garbled graphic that you see there, that joystick there on the left, and you see 9,000, yeah, click up screen, 9,000 buttons there. You had a up and down joystick, thrust, reverse, fire, smart bomb, and hyperspace. And you prayed that hyperspace wouldn't like make you explode, because it did about 40% of the time, I think. Draws on the Williams logo just like it should. Not bad. All right. What the hell? You have to keep those humanoids safe as possible. Don't let the landers go grab them. Don't do that either. Landers take the humanoids to the top of the screen, turns them into mutants. Lose all the humanoids and you destroy the planet. I lost half my humanoids. How could I? And second round, you have some bombers there. And some pods that will explode, turn into little mini pods. I just blew up another humanoid, and I rescued him and shot him at the same time. I am doing great. I just ran into the bomber. I dare say this is better than the Joust board. That's not saying much. Oh, wow. 2 humanoids. Oh, this game is defending Game Boy's position. Well, I tell you, the Game Boy will, forever, in my mind, will be one of the greatest things ever made. The first portable cartridge-based system of its kind. I went through all my smart bombs in that. I sure did. They made just about every bloody thing for it, whether it needed it or not. It had a good... And watch this. Okay. Yay. You're kidding. One humanoid left. That won't last. I'll do that or I die first. Okay. Close enough. Okay. Okay. Well, it's fun. I've been playing games for a very long time. I come from the first generation. The first arcade game I ever played was Space Invaders. That was back when it was brand new. My dad's one of my dad's best friend was a video game dealer, so that made that fairly easy, I dare say. And I've been playing and collecting games all the way up until pretty much the end of the PlayStation 3, just as we were about to transition to PlayStation 4. And I'm looking at this like I've had enough. So I have a few years for that. The old stuff here, the classic games, and to be fair, it's old. I'm on the Game Boy. I'm playing a 30-year translation of a 40-year-old game. Okay? But it's amazing that you can still see these games come out in various forms. Arcade 1-Up has done an incredible job keeping the classics alive. Joust, they have a specific cabinet for that. There's also like the My Arcades and the Tiny Arcades out there, keeping things alive. The Nintendo's Virtual Arcade, whatever you call it, for the Switch. It's still a remarkable thing. And there's still old kids like me who will be more than happy to show off these games because, well, they kind of started everything. And Joust was a fantastic arcade game where, as we're approaching the video game crash of 1983, and all these games are still coming out, it still held on. And they still had translations of Joust afterwards from the crash. The NES version came out well after the crash, and so did the Game Boy version. If the game wasn't that good enough, why would they continue producing versions of it afterwards? So there you go. At least that's me. But then again, I've only been doing this for 46 years, so what do I know? If you want to hang around here, I have a guest here that will start playing in just a second. We have a new segment here on Arcade vs. Console for Saturdays, and this particular one is a rather interesting one, I think. Can my wife play the game? Now, we were going to do it last week with Ms. Pac-Man, and I showed off a variety of versions for that, from the arcade game all the way up through, I believe, the second NES version, which was made directly by Namco. And I said, I'm thinking to myself as I played it and how horrible it was, because it is horrible. You can check out the video still. I believe it's still up today on Twitch. Tomorrow it'll be on YouTube. But Namco did not create Ms. Pac-Man. Some crazy folks who were from MIT became GCE, made a crazy auto which Midway showed interest in, and that became ultimately Ms. Pac-Man. But essentially, it was an unauthorized clone. And they made boffo bucks. They sold conversion kits to turn your existing Pac-Man into a Ms. Pac-Man, which is unfortunate because they lost a lot of Pac-Man cabinets that way. Or you can just flat out buy the Ms. Pac-Man. The one in my living room is a full-blown Ms. Pac-Man that I got from Grand Prix Racerama like 9 million years ago. So I'm going to put pause here on the screen in just a second there. I appreciate if you hang around. And I'm going to get my wife, and we're going to play one of these games in just a second. Stand by. Well, that was neat. Never have it just end like that. There we go. Alrighty, thanks for standing by. As you can see, Ms. Pac-Man has now appeared onto the screen, and it's the arcade version. I'm going to go ahead and put that right here. I'm going to switch over the microphone real quickly. Actually, no, we're going to do it the way we did last time. I'll just have to yell in the background. That's so you can actually hear the game, okay? London Lass, who, you don't have to hear the game? Fine, don't hear the game. I can judge you? I can judge you, okay. London Lass here is going to play the game. Can my wife play it? And I'll go ahead and do that. And say hi to Twitch out there.
Hi to Twitch out there.
There we go. Let me just turn the music here. Okay, so. Okay, ready? Okay, so the game that we're playing is Ms. Pac-Man, as you can clearly see. This is the 1981 original. Okay, so this is the credit. That is not working. Why are you not working? There you go. All right. Okay, this makes it move. Okay, let me before you hit start, so I don't deafen everyone. All right. This will start, and this moves. Okay. And here we go. Use it like a thumbstick. You can do it, kid. Oh. Look at the bright side.
That's right.
Right. Very good. You got it.
It is Miss Pac-Man after all.
It is Miss Pac-Man after all, indeed. Well, London Lass, if I were to go around calling you Miss Pac-Man, would you like that? I didn't think so. Yeah. You're doing good. Alright, got to the first intermission. Now, this was actually pretty cool, as opposed to the Pac-Man intermissions. Yes. Oh. Alright, you want to try again? Game over. Try it one more time. Gotta hit the credit button first. Yeah. Well, I'll dare say this. The controller does not do joystick justice. And you're playing it right-handed. And I've mapped it to a left thumb, so... Okay. Very good.
I'm not a child.
Well, until I get kicks up here, then you can kick my ass with that one. Columns. Actually, yeah, columns, I would dare say exciting, especially as you get further and further in your game.
Well, that was it.
Is that
You
it?
can see.
Is that it for you? Because I didn't map it. I shall try to do that. Didn't even think that. I apologize. You're going to do something that most people have not done before on a normal speed. It's Pac-Man. Having where only one fruit comes out. Yep. The fruit comes out determined on how many points you eat, how many dots you eat. Well, I believe this one actually saves the high score, so let's see what the high score is. 86,000? Okay.
Wait, 8,000.
8,600. Okay. You had the high score. Yeah. That is your high score. Yeah, this is on factory, so it won't keep the high score or anything.
Almost.
Think you've had enough?
Have you had me have enough?
That's up to you.
This Pac-Man, I'm sure your audience doesn't want to see it played much.
Okay. I'll tell you what. Thanks for playing. Appreciate it.
Well,
You're welcome. We would have played this last week.
yeah, I know, but you.
I was doing very poorly.
So you felt like I played.
Okay.
Excuse me.
Sure. All right. Oh, you okay? Okay. Alrighty. Well, so much for that.
I beg your pardon.
You know, honestly, you don't play the game regularly. Thank you. You don't play the game regularly. It happens. I used to play this game quite regularly. So, but
I went through the first two parts.
you did good. You did good. Actually, you did quite good, I have to admit. I used to play competitively long time ago. And I don't care anymore. Now I just play for goofing off. Like I'll run up the score to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 0 or something like that. So, alrighty. Well, that concludes, I'm afraid, this particular stream because we have exhausted all of our jousting, and we have played our. Can my wife play it? Can she play Miss Pac-Man? Yeah, I dare say she can. The arcade owners would love her. Making a lot of money off her, that's for sure. Hey, I have to tell you guys, my adventures with Dragon's Lair 2 at Grand Prix Racerama a million years ago. They were actually doing the expansion to the overall castle, right? And I had people up there in the rafters, where the ceiling and the roof are like that, because they were putting up the final touches, watching me play the game, and I must have put in about $10 worth of quarters just to play the damn thing. It was a lot to play. I actually beat it there. But hey, there it is. What? Not the original Dragon's Lair, the sequel. A lot of people didn't realize there was indeed a sequel unless you find it on Steam, which it certainly is there. What's that? Moo Cow. Thank you for being in chat. I greatly would appreciate it. Thank you very much for tuning in, folks. If you like what you see, give me a follow. I greatly would appreciate it. And we do this every Saturday, every Monday, and every Thursday. Mondays is going to be a theme day. Thursday is the classic RPG day. And Saturday is arcade versus console. It's that simple. And occasionally, can my wife play it? And there are some good games in there that she can indeed play. She can kick my ass on a little Taito game called Kix. Look it up, spelled Qix. And if you haven't played it before, I recommend you do play it. It's a gorgeous, wonderful, mind-numbing, bending, aggravating game. She does a damn good job of columns, too. She can kick my ass in that one. And with that happy note, you do, columns for any system, whether it be the Game Gear, the Master System, the Genesis, of course, the arcade. Dance circles around me. Thank you very much for watching. We'll see you on Monday night, 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. as we will go and we'll pick out a game and series of games and see what they're like. Find some similarities. Be theme day. Have a good one. I'll talk to you later. Thanks. Bye.